All right, and we are live. What's going on with this? This is not live on LinkedIn. Oh man. All right, hi everyone. For those of you who are watching live or on replay, this is Dr. LaBinton, Living Spring Family Medical Center, and we're doing another Facebook Live today on this beautiful evening. So if you're joining live, hashtag live. If you're joining replay, hashtag replay. For some reason, it's not letting me stream to LinkedIn, but that's okay. We'll get to that later. So today we're having a discussion on healthy holiday eating tips for a nutritious celebration. But I'm very, very happy to have on a repeat guest. She's been very gracious to have us spend time with her multiple times on this platform. Dr. Amanda Adkins. How are you doing, Doc?
I'm great. How are you doing today?
I am good. Ready for the holidays.
Yes, yes, I am
I
ready.
am ready for the holidays. All right. Doc, for those who may not know who you are, who may not watch you doing when you were live, could you kindly introduce yourself? Who are you and what do you do?
Yes, so I am Dr. Amanda Atkins. I am a internal medicine and lifestyle medicine physician and health and wellness coach, owner and CEO of Enlightenment Health and Wealth. We help Christian women of color prevent and reverse their high blood pressure and diabetes and help them to lose weight.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. So I know you shared this before, but we'll do maybe a different version of the question, meaning why do you stay doing what you're doing? Because and I say this because this is not the mainstream way of doing medicine with a lifestyle approach, and you're empowering people to eat better. So I can imagine that it's also a lot of work and a lot of talking and a lot of coaching and a lot of. But why do you stay doing what you're doing? Because it's hard, and you still do it.
Yeah, I would say that's twofold. I tell people usually I'm very selfish with that because I started doing it because I wanted my own health better. And I continue to do it because I see my own health benefits. And then people usually ask me about that. And so I'm like, So it helps me to stay accountable for what I do, and then also my patients and clients, because sometimes you get discouraged and you're like, oh gosh, people are saying this is too hard, they're not doing it, you don't see the results that you think they should be getting. But then just when in the nick of time someone comes in with that story and you're just like, okay, this is why I do what I do. And a patient came in today, does not want medications at all, and had like pre-diabetes, and high cholesterol. And I last saw her in July. Came in today. She's like, okay, I've been recording what I'm eating, what I'm doing, my exercise and all that. There, she's lost 20 pounds. Her cholesterol went from like in the 200s of her LDL down to like 130s. Her A1C is almost back to normal. I think she was at 5.9. And she was like, thank you so much for telling me not to eat meat. I've been so much better. And every time I tell my family or friends about you, they're like, oh, wow, your doctor told you not to eat meat. And she told me, you better not leave.
I love it. I love it. And the patients not only have beautiful lab numbers, but they feel better. It's
Yes,
not about we're not about making our lives look pretty and like, yay, no diabetes. It's your quality of life is improved, more energy, less
exactly.
joint aches. So that's awesome. Now we're talking about healthy holiday eating tips. Now, for someone who's watching who's like, whoa, 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 don't mess with my holidays. This is my time to, splurge a little bit to relax. And then I'll start again in the new year. Why would you say it's important to focus on healthy eating during the holiday season? Let's start with that first, and then we'll talk about the challenges that people face.
Yeah, I usually tell people if you can do well in the holidays, you can do well the whole year long.
Ooh,
So
that's a good one.
I start there, and like it's not hard to make conscious decisions, because usually in the holidays we're just like picking up things. We'll eat here, eat here, we'll eat here, we'll just do whatever. But if you actually stay focused on what you're doing and how you're feeling, you'll start to notice like that energy goes down. or more importantly, you may get sick because this is flu and cold season during the holidays. So I always tell people you look out for that. And it's just like you just want to stay on that path because you can, do everything with you in your power to do. And then you just like, okay, for the past, if you go from Thanksgiving to New Year's, that's like 6-7 weeks. I was like, that can push you all the way back to, those months of work that you were doing previously, because, what we do add up. And so I usually tell people, we're told it's a holiday, not a holla month, not a holla year. And so it's okay if, one day you want to do some things that you normally don't do, but you don't want to do that, for 6 weeks straight. Like your body it's just going to be too much inflammation in your body to do well. I mean, you want to be healthy and feel good over the holidays to be the best for your family, because usually this is when people definitely can, take vacation time, and you don't want to spend the time sick because you're not doing what you know you should.
I love it. It's a holiday, not a holly month, and that's a long time to get off track. So all that work you're doing, like, so if you can survive the holidays, you could start to do the holidays. That's like you're essentially set. I love it. Now let's talk challenges. Okay, so you're going somewhere, you don't control the meal, you're having people come over, and they're like, "We're gonna eat leaves all day." Like, oh, what is tasting? Like, I'm worried about how it's going to taste. Hey, these are real questions.
I know. That's funny. Eating leaves all day. It can be, but yes. So I would tell them to change the narrative. So just today, my mom sent me a message asking, what do I want for our holiday party brunch that she's going to be throwing, and so they know what I do, and so they know what I emphasize, and they like it. So if you have the opportunity to just introduce healthier foods, just do that. Most time people are not offended if you ask for certain things or bring certain things with you if you're going to someone else's home. And I can tell people most of the time, if you cook like a plant-based meal that actually from like a chef and things like that, it usually goes faster than the other foods. So usually get upset with people like, why did you eat all the plant-based or vegan food? They can't eat anything else. But usually it's still very highly tasty and very highly nutritious, if you can actually change the narrative and not necessarily throw it in people's face like, oh my gosh, why are you eating that? It's not healthy. That would just turn people off. But if you're just like, oh, I tried this recipe, you guys want to try it, something like that. Just because when you present it as an opportunity, people are more likely to be open to it than just like trying to criticize and condemn others of what they're doing. So that's a big one.
I like that. Don't just offer suggestions as maybe try this, and keep an open mind, and you'll be surprised. Good food tastes good. Good
Great.
food tastes changing that narrative. It's also very important. So you talked about there are ways to change a narrative around holidays. So I have someone watching who is like, okay, I want practical tips. I don't control. I'm going to bring something to the event, but are there things, that common foods that you recommend that's kind of easy to throw together? We don't have to go into a culinary class here, but a few practical tips for incorporating nutritious choices into holiday meals. There's some meals where, like Thanksgiving, it's turkey. Because Christmas now we're going into, so there's a lot of cake and things like that. But what are things you can add, even if you don't go completely plant-based?
So I guess it depends on what you're trying to replace. So I would say, like, for us with the brunch, like it's like eggs and sausage and bacon. Oh my gosh, I hate the smell of bacon. But anyway, so you could do alternatives, like I asked for tofu scramble, that would be similar to eggs, and you could have like nutritional yeast in there. That makes it, look like eggs and have the texture of eggs. You can do tempeh bacon, which actually I found a great recipe, and people swore up and down I was eating bacon. And you can actually supplement that, or substitute that instead of actually real bacon. And I say real bacon meaning pork and turkey bacon. If you do like a mac and cheese, you can do a whole grain pasta with nutritional yeast or a nut based cheese.
Jeez. Okay.
So these are all different options that you can do. And I try to make it to where it looks almost the same as the non-healthy option. So that way people aren't like, that's not what I was wanting to eat. It's something like this. So if you can do that, and there's so many different websites that have, plant-based foods for the holidays. And I don't know if you want me to mention this now, but I had my team actually put together a group of different websites that have like plant-based holiday meals that you can actually just look at that and just substitute those things in. Because that's what I always get asked, like, well, we eat X, Y, and Z. What can I eat that? What can I eat instead? And so we put together that. So it's easier than what people think. You just have to be aware of what you want to eat and then find that healthier alternative. It definitely can be something better.
I like it. Get curious about alternatives that are better for you. I like that. Now, for someone who's watching, who's like, okay, doc, I'm going to work on that, but their biggest concern is the overindulgence. How do you, any tips? Because it's like you lay a feast before me, in the
Hmm.
presence of my enemies. A whole like a Bible verse, everybody, Psalm 23 come to mind. He lays, yeah, prepares a table before me. So there's a whole lot of food, and people are like, oh my gosh, how do you encourage your patients, your clients to not overindulge and to manage their cravings and portion sizes even during the festive gatherings?
Yes. So that definitely could be a tough one, depending on where you are. So most of my holiday things are always at my mom's house.
Okay.
So I would say you want to probably stay out of the room where the food is. That would be number one, because if it's not in your sight, you won't just grab it. So that helps out a lot. And then also use a smaller plate, which is always a good idea, because then it looks like you're overflowing if you have like the smaller I
Right.
forget. I think it's like a 9 inch or 6 inch, something like that. And you can just put like little bites of things on there, and then make sure you're drinking lots of water, and don't actually drink calories, because that
Mm.
usually causes people to want to eat more carbs and more sugar, if you actually drink your calories because you feel like you're not eating enough. And then always, always, always try to add in your leafy greens, so full of fiber, so you feel full and not just say, I'm going to eat because I still feel hungry. If there's certain things that you love, I would say you just want to try to, cut the slice, pre-cut it, and have everybody else say, "Here, everybody have a piece." So there's not something left that's there that would,
Thank you.
because you see it there, you're like, "Oh, I might as well grab that." So um, it's more of mind over matter. Like you just want to be conscious of what you're doing, because usually when we overindulge, we're mindlessly eating.
True.
We'll just grab it. But when we actually are actually concentrating on what we're doing, we're less likely to overeat. And I use that a lot with my clients, especially when they're in their cleanse stage, is to actually sit and actually breathe before they eat and actually look at what they're eating, chew slowly, and you're less likely to overeat.
Okay. I like that. Um, breathe before you.
Yeah, because most
You
time
do
you're like, it's like a vacuum. We're like,
Oh my gosh. All right, let's talk healthy snacks, appetizers. So for those who like, well, I don't have a choice. I have to bring in, I was assigned to bring in an appetizer. What are healthy snacks or appetizers that you tend to recommend people offer at their holiday gatherings?
so I'm always a fan of raw veggies and like cut up fruit. Like that's that fiber and that crunch usually can get for me. And like a bean dip. So that keeps you away from
Mm,
like those
mm,
dressings, like the ranch that's usually with there. I love hummus, so adding that in there. Let's see, other appetizers would be something like a whole grain bread with like
mhm.
a nut butter or something like that, or any little things that you like to put on top. There's also like energy balls, that's made of dates and like nuts and oats, that are very popular that people usually love. So those are like can be like little hors d'oeuvres or appetizers that people may like. Um, those are the ones that usually come straight to mind for me that I usually try. That's easy that you don't have to like put a lot together with.
What are your thoughts on veggie chips?
Veggie chips, like
Yeah, like
those.
as opposed to potato chips, sometimes they look like straws and sometimes they look like
Oh,
scoopy food.
yes, that's good advertisement because my daughter just grabbed those because it had Elmo on there, and I'm like, "What is this?" And so she got those, and I she said, "Mom, is this healthy?" And I was like, not really. It's more of like a vegetable powder." And she's like, "But look at the front. It has vegetables on the
Smart kid.
front." So I think they're good with advertising that, but you still lose a lot of nutrients because that's a more of a highly processed food. And they just make it seem like it's healthier. It makes you may feel better. I mean, it may have some more nutrients and vitamins in there than actual regular potato chip,
Mm.
or Cheetos that she usually tries to grab. So I was like, I'll go with this instead of Cheetos. So it's healthier than Cheetos, but it's
Mm.
not as healthy as if she would have just grabbed like our carrots that we normally eat, or the raw broccoli stems or something like that. So it all depends on what you compare it to. any
That
any
is true.
food.
It's all relative. All right. Now, you talked earlier about people being careful about drinking their calories. What are your thoughts? Let's talk about alcohol a little bit. Just, real quick, the impact of alcohol consumption on holiday health. And are there any tips for moderation during the holidays?
So I would say one drink at an event would be good enough. Would And you would want to pick that carefully. And like I said, the main thing is to drink water in between any alcoholic beverage you may have, because again, that's usually sugar that you're actually intaking. So I would pick one, whether it's like eggnog with whatever. Um, I don't drink alcohol. I know they add in something to that eggnog. But whatever that is. So I would just try to do a small amount of that and then try to drink water the other time, because otherwise you can go off your calories very quickly. And I usually don't even have people count calories, but if you're drinking alcohol or something, a holiday drink, you're probably going to go over your calories that you should have in a day just drinking that at a holiday party. So I would just definitely, if you do drink alcohol, I would try to pick just one for the night, and then otherwise try to do water. Because if you're drinking alcohol plus having like pies and cookies,
Yep.
that's like it's going to be totally off. And I would say pick one or the other.
Make water your drink of choice. That's what I hear
Yes,
you saying. That's what I hear you saying.
yes, water.
I love it. I love it. Now let's talk a little bit about staying active. So a lot of people, between, from, well, I guess where we're at, it's cold during the
Mhm.
holiday season. So any tips on staying active during the holidays to complement the healthy eating habits we talked about?
Yes, I want to use the example again from my family, because this is what we do during the holidays is play actual physical games.
Oh, big thing.
Last year we did this game, and I'm sure we'll do it again, where it was a relay tic tac toe, and you had paper plates, and my mom put a tic tac toe board on the ground, and you had to run and put the paper plate in a certain area, square on there. So that's staying active, being engaged, not trying to figure out what food you're going to eat, which actually you still enjoy the holiday, right? So if you're at an event, try to find a game that's active, whether it's like charades, you have to get up and move around. We
Mm.
do the 12 days of Christmas, to where you actually have to get up and act out the actual thing. So whether it's the drummers drumming, the ladies leaping, and continue to do all that. So the more active you can be at these parties, the better, instead of just like sitting around talking, but actually moving and engaging. I would say also, if you're going away for the holidays, like I usually do, also is to team up with somebody there that also would be interested in staying active. So for me, it's my sister. So we usually schedule times in the gym that we would go to our hotel gym and, do workouts together, which is another time to that, we can come back together because we're usually apart during the year and, just do fun things to get together and do some workouts to just keep going. Or if you're in a place, even if it's mostly cold, sometimes you have those times where it may be a bit of not a chill outside and to go for a walk after your lunch or brunch with the family or friends, and then just make it a actual event. Like I said, because of what I do, I try to keep my family active. So sometimes Christmas Day we may have like a 5K for the morning that we're gonna do.
Wow.
Just to make it fun. Anything you can do.
I like that. And a family that stays active together stays together. I like that. That's good. You're giving me a lot of ideas for the holidays. This is good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, can you share a personal success story or example of someone who shared that earlier who successfully embraced healthy eating habits during the holidays? That could be you. That could be someone else. And what that did for them.
Yes. So I will use my client from this time last year. So we were
Okay.
actually going through, she was actually going through one of my programs. And that was a question she asked. Okay, so what am I supposed to do, during this time? I like to eat certain foods. We go out and I was like, and I told her the same thing. Okay, this is your holiday. So if you know that this is the day that you're going to eat, what you like, then the next day, these are the things that you do. So just
Mm.
like getting back on track or cleanse. Okay, so the next day you're gonna make sure you're drinking lots of water. You're gonna eat a big salad with lots of raw fruits and vegetables, and then you're going to be mindful of all the other proteins and fibers that you have throughout the day. And she was able to get through it. She felt happy that she was able to eat what she liked for that day. And then right back the next day, she was back on track because she was like, okay, I had that. I think it was some type of, fish that she liked. I can't remember the exact thing, but it was something that was totally not what she wanted to actually do long term. But
Mm.
I was like, these are the things that we did to do during the cleanse time that I do. And so that's what you would start the next day. Start our little cleanse program again the next day, and then you're off and running and back on track. Because I tell people, even outside of the holidays, you're always going to have a day to where you may feel overly stressed, and you're just off track. And if you just have a plan in place to know how to get back on track, usually you're better. And so I also have them put on their refrigerator like 5 steps that I'll do to get back on track, whether it's take a big thing of water, drink that, go for a walk, do meditation. So if they have that plan already in place, that they're actually ready to go. And I've had, people be very successful with that, especially during the holidays. 'Cause like I said, when you have that food that's all out, you just want to continue to go back after it. And then also the next day and the next day, because usually, especially for my family, it's lots of leftovers.
Mm. 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 I like that. You get off, you come back on. All
Mhm.
right. And you have something to help guide you back on track. Now, I was going to ask you, talked about cleanses quite a bit. So, um, in your experience, how long for someone who's saying, you know what, I know that a plant-rich life is best for me. I know that a plant-based diet is ideal for me, but I'm afraid of the cravings and how I feel in withdrawal, right? So for someone who's saying, I'm afraid, maybe to work with someone like you, I'm a little nervous that I wouldn't enjoy my food the way I am. And it brings me so much joy. So the idea of changing that scares me. What would you say to encourage them, Dr. Amanda?
Yes, I would say that's a very real feeling because when you do actually go through the cleanse, you do experience bad before you experience good. It's like those toxins are coming out of your body and you'll feel achy. You may have upset stomach. You may have headaches. You're going to be very moody. And usually if you like the people that do my cleanse after, day 2 or 3, they're on the upside of it because it's all out. They're actually fueling their body with actually good nutritious foods. So not only is the toxins leaving, you're actually nourishing your body. And so it doesn't have to be a long drawn out thing. It would be a few days, and then you'll be on the other side of it. Then when you try to go back to eat those foods that you thought was giving you joy, you'll feel bad and you'll go the opposite way. So you'll be like, okay, I was feeling bad. Now I start to feel good. Now, okay, I'm good. So I'm going to go back to eat what I was before. And then you're like, okay, now I'm starting to feel sluggish. I'm starting to have a headache. Why am I going
Mhm.
through these things again? Because the toxins are now coming back in. So
Wow.
people, I tell you, usually an orange, an apple, things like that doesn't make you feel bad when you go the other way. But if you start to eat chips, you start to eat fried foods, you'll start to feel that like, oh, that heaviness. And you're like, okay, my body is telling me, please don't do this to me again. We got
Mm,
rid of that. Please don't go
mm,
back.
mm,
So
mm.
it's not as bad as you may think. Again, it's just usually like a few days, and then your body and your taste buds will start to crave those healthy foods. Like you'll be like, my sister would say, "Oh, I was craving blueberries." Who craves blueberries? That's one of those
Wow.
things. But that would be the thing, right? Because your body is like, I want that. I want that. For me, I love the earthy type taste of
Mm.
vegetables, like the broccoli and the carrots. So when I have that taste, I'm like, and I eat that. It's like so satisfying. And so people look at me like I'm crazy. Like that shouldn't be. You shouldn't have cravings for healthy foods. But when you actually go through that cleanse and you get rid of it, it actually is there. Like your body is like, oh yeah, I would like that again. Give me that.
Now I eat plant-rich foods, but I'm not strictly plant-based. But you're making me want to do this. Just hearing you say that is really encouraging. I mean that. I mean that. I think even coupling it with a like a spiritual type thing, praying through it, and would be a good segue to starting fresh. So this is
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah.
I
And
like
I,
what
I
you
do
do.
use that too. I have scriptures that I have people meditate on because days get rough and you really wonder, is it worth it to eat healthy versus not? And sometimes just that um scripture that would come to the forefront of your mind after you've been looking at those and meditating on, you're like, is this really what I should be doing for my temple? And again, I tell people I do this in a selfish way because this is what I do, try to stay on track. Also, I'm not 100% perfect, but I mean, these are the things that I've done. So I just try to show people what I've done to try to be successful.
Phew, that's what's up. Thank you, Doc. Now, those who are watching, where can we find you, Dr. Amanda?
Yes. So you can go to my website at dramandamd.com, or I'm also here on Facebook, Amanda Atkins, or Dr. Amanda Atkins is the business page. You can see, get like healthy tips and recipes and things like that there. Also on Instagram at Dr. Amanda Atkins. And it's Adkins, as you may see on the screen. So it's not confused with the other Atkins.
That is right. So I'm putting all her information. She also has a YouTube channel. She got an email address. She's all over the www. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So there we go. Facebook. So for those of you who are on Facebook, you can see at the bottom of the screen, and also those of you on YouTube. The big take home message for this is our body is a temple. We need to preserve this body to enjoy the things in life that matter to us. It will take some discomfort, but then there's the other side of it. All right.
Exactly.
So, and we're worth the inconvenience. Thank you so much, Doc, for coming. I always enjoy having you on the show.
Thank you. I enjoy coming. Love talking about this stuff. I just kind of like keep talking and talking.
And it would sink in time. And I
Yeah.
love how you said, sometime earlier when we started, you said sometimes you're like wondering, and then someone comes and reaffirms what you're doing is making a difference. And like I
Yeah.
said, it's the harder route what you
Mm-hmm.
do. So and just so you know, a lot of people on here giving you a shout out. Dr. Valerie's here, Una was here. Um, Bernadette, oh my gosh, thank you for watching all the way from Philippines. Really appreciate you joining. And for those of you who I can't see, I'm sorry. And Miss Ade Rumke, thank you for joining as well. Please, as always, share this. Even if it's one thing or two tips you pick from this, it will help you and your loved ones. So please share this, forward this, tag people. Oh, Dr. Janice, thank you so much for watching as well. Doc,
Yay.
we got some MVP guests, man. We got all over the world. We big time, God is good. Oh, but thank you all for watching. And as always, if you're looking for an awesome family physician in Mansfield, Texas area, I am she. And if you're looking for a doctor to walk you through that transition to a plant-based diet, she. I've known this lady for a while now. She. Okay. Much love, man. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.